think.
And we're coming at you faster than a Jameis Winston pick six. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, it is My Brother's an Idiot, the podcast where we discuss whatever the hell we want, whenever the hell we want, and mostly about great football games. Hey, what's going on, Goon Squad? Michaela, how are you?
Wait, hold on. Come back to me.
Okay. Tank, how are you?
Doing pretty good, man.
Already off
Busy.
the fucking rails. Busy. Mark, nice hat.
It's the Miles head hat. I got to go full Delulu, full send
Right.
Delulu with the Miles
Full
head hat,
send it.
which means I know what's coming in the bottom right third of our bottom right quadrant of the screen. We've got a Jay Catler sighting, ladies and gentlemen.
Jay Catler.
Hello, I'm Jay Cadler.
I was
I
there.
smoke cigarettes.
I was there the day we gave that cat life.
You were. It was hilarious.
It was
Jay
hilarious.
Catler. For those of you not watching the actual stream and just listening to it, Michaela's got her Build-A-Bear Broncos cat that she affectionately named Jay Catler, who makes an appearance once or twice a season. And we're awful happy to see him. Michaela, how are you?
I'm pretty good. How are you?
Good. You still a little coffee over there or what?
Yes.
Got a little bit of the stuff. And there's, bro, you're
What?
just, what? Yeah, exactly. What? Let's just start with you because, you know,
Jesus.
we're going to talk about it. It was the most entertaining game in probably 10 years at Mile High Stadium. Mark, react.
We
to that.
we misspeak a lot. We get things wrong a lot on this show. Guys, we are terrible at prognosticating on this show. We just like to do it because we like to talk to each other and we like to talk to you guys. What's really important is I got this one right, though. I said that this was going to be the most entertaining version of the Broncos we've seen in a long time. And that was the most entertaining Broncos game I've seen since the Broncos were in the Super Bowl. It's by far the most entertaining home game I've seen the Broncos play in a decade. It was amazing. Jameis Winston, I was talking about it today. I don't know if you guys remember a couple years ago, but I was advocating for Jameis Winston to come here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad he's not, but he is an absolute blessing to watch play the game of football. He is so much fun, and it's amazing to watch it on television. I'm sure you got a little bit of it at the game, but watching it on television when he has got a giant ear-to-ear smile 99% of the time on the field, it's incredible. And you don't know what's going to happen with when he has the ball in his hands, but you know it's going to be amazing. Like, it's just going to be brilliant, no matter what it is. It could be the worst thing you've ever seen. It could be the greatest play that's ever happened, but it's going to be insane and it's going to be brilliant. The man threw more yards and more touchdowns to two teams than anyone has ever done in NFL history. Jerry Jeudy, fine. That's fine. Let him get his. That I think they kind of let him get his a little bit because the way that they were covering him by not covering him, I saved a statistic here. Give me a second to look it up. But I saved it to a statistic about when they were covering him with
Anyone that wasn't
versus-
Wallace.
yeah, versus anybody else. Actually,
Yeah.
was actually the stat I saved.
Yeah.
The actual stat is so in 23 routes against everyone not named PS2. 7 catches, 215 yards, and that included his tutty, against Pat Surtain in 34 routes. So 11 more routes than the rest of the team had to cover. He had 2 catches for 20 yards. They let him get his in there. I think that was almost intentional. It seemed very, very intentional. I don't know. I'm not going to say it's one of those things that it's like tinfoil hat. Like, we're going to put him on Monday Night Football on ESPN. He's a star. We got to make him one. But it could be. Would you be surprised if they said, I mean, he was wide open by 20 yards on some of those routes. 20 yards. It was insane. But what else is insane is this Broncos pass rush. Holy fuck, those guys are all over the field. Nick Bonito is becoming the next Von Miller in front of our eyes, and we didn't see it coming until this year. It's insane. The guy is just on fire. 2 sacks and a pick 6 in his game last night? Incredible. And Bo Nix is just doing his thing, and listening to him after the game, he said all the right things. He coach speaked his way through it. I like this kid a lot, and I like the direction of this football team, and I am full Delulu on this. Go Broncos.
I will tell you that having watched that game, they played so much goddamn zone. It was disgusting. And this is the team that does not run zone. They run press man. They send the house. And I think what you saw wasn't necessarily, well, let Jerry get his. It was,
They didn't trust.
I think they just thought, well, we're going to have to run some zone because we don't have Riley. And they don't practice zone. So I think it's a team that was rusty at zone. Good God, Toaster, we get it. Jerry Jeudy sucks. He had a great game. Get over it.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah. He's very unhappy.
He had a day. Yeah, Jerry Jeudy had the most yards of any receiver playing against the team that he used to play for ever. That happened last night.
Yeah.
Right. So I don't think necessarily it was we're just going to let him go. I think it was they just ran a lot of zone and they just didn't really know. I mean, Barton was out of position in a couple of places. Wallace, I like Wallace a lot more as a red zone corner. I think his length and his instincts serve him well there. But in terms of just in space, he's just not fast enough. And he really needs to be playing man like the rest of them. So bye week couldn't come any sooner. Tank, what do you think?
I mean, yeah, a lot of the same stuff here. I kind of called the Jeudy getting his revenge dagger out because I kind of saw that coming with Riley Moss being out. I'm like, they're going to let him. He's going to beat somebody, and it was Wallace. Like everyone saw, he picked on that poor man for most of those yards. And then Bo Nix, holy shit! Yes, he had 2 picks, but one of those was, I think, more of a play calling issue than anything. That big seam beater to Sims that got picked off, I was kind of like, that was probably not the right play call right there. We did see them use that again to a very incredible effect with a 93-yard touchdown to Mims in that game also. But yeah, he looks incredible. God, I love the swagger that kid shows. Calling him kid, even though he's the oldest rookie in the world. But he knows he's good. Huh?
He's younger than us.
Yeah. He knows. I think he knows that he's good, and he knows that he's in the right place for his talents. And he has the right coach that's going to say, all right, boy, we're going to gun this thing and make it work. And we saw a lot of that. Run game looked okay. Defense looked just, minus giving up more than I think they intended to. Like you said, they played a lot of soft zone compared to normal, and that, had some issues. But if Riley Moss was in there, I'd say that'd be a little bit of a different story overall on the defensive side of things. But the defense still played, when they needed to, they made the plays happen. And that was a huge part of the game. And then, Jameis, man, I love that dude too. I love watching him play, but that motherfucker goes to the bakery more often than anybody, and he is so very much a Brett Favre style of quarterback where it's like, I'm going to gun it, motherfuckers, and we're going to see what happens. And, bit him in the ass on this one, but they stayed with him the whole game. So,
to your point, Tank, Sean did own that play call. He said that was the wrong play call. The long interception. The other one definitely wasn't Nix's fault. It got batted up in the air. It was a great play by Derwin James. Just hit it and went up in the air, and somebody else got it. Jameis Winston is my all-time favorite backup quarterback. I am going to listen to everything that this man says every time he's on television. Did you guys see him after the game when he said, Lord, please save me from pick sixes?
Yeah, that was
the Lord doesn't want me to play pick sixes. I know he doesn't have that in for me.
Lord will save me from pick sixes. And he's just so good. And I've got some Jameis stats here in a minute, but I want to hear what Michaela has to say.
Are they the same Jameis stats that I sent you earlier?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't think so. I don't remember seeing stats. Would you send them?
TikTok.
Real quick though, before we go to Michaela, I do want to touch on what Frank said about the running game. I feel like Jamal Williams was not present in this game. Specifically,
Javonte.
Javonte, sorry. Either way, yeah, he was not present. Jaleel McLaughlin was really good on a number of carries, and Audric Estime had a couple, but they didn't really get that going until almost the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
So it took a good solid 3.5 quarters to actually attempt and get the running game going. So less than okay, I would call it.
I'm basing it on how it started and if they would have stuck with it where it was going. Because it started okay, and then they just stepped away from it for, like you said, the majority
2
of 3
quarters.
quarters. Yeah. And I think if they would have stuck with it, they may have had a better day on the ground and controlled that ball a little bit better. But
I think that Javonte is still not quite all the way back.
No.
8 of the last 12 carries of his season have been for 0 or negative yards. And that's just not the Javonte we all know and love. And I think, Tank, to your point, when you said they kind of started to figure out the running game, they figured out that wide zone was working. And that is a big defensive front with some real talent. I mean, Shelby Harris, say what you will about Shelby Harris. He is a stout motherfucker. Myles Garrett is all worldly. And when they figured out, hey, let's run some wide zone and some of the sweeps and some of the outside, will you fucking knock it off? Jesus. When they started running some of that wide zone and off tackle stuff, they started getting some success. Jaleel's the real deal. And I think that with him and Estime going forward into 2025, they've got the base of something that could be good. I don't know if we're ever going to see what we expect out of Javonte anymore, which is unfortunate because we love that kid. Michaela, what do you got?
I will save my stats until you have your stats so that I can add to your stats if they are not the same stats. But did you see someone posted a tweet yesterday that said Jameis Winston is the Russell Westbrook of Brett Favre's?
Yeah.
I get that.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, I get that.
It was a fun game to watch. It was a lot of crazy bullshit that happened, and watching everyone's reaction to it on the social medias was also entertaining. I don't have any like in-depth shit. I don't know. It was fun.
It was fun.
It was
a lot of
fun.
I
It was
missed
super fun.
I missed not being able to do the unicorn because Riley Moss wasn't there. But
Well, bye week couldn't come any soon enough. And they didn't put him on IR, so I'm hopefully he'll be back for the Colts. A couple of things that struck me here in this game. Bo Nix after the game, the difference between Bo at the podium and Russell at the podium is like night and day. They asked him about that absolute dart that he threw on the 93-yard touchdown to Marvin, and he started spitting football knowledge and said stuff that 90% of the people had no idea what he was talking about and knew what he was talking about. He said, they were in an invert, Tampa 2 invert. I knew when the mic slid over, they were going to be doing this, and I just knew it was going to be there. And just like I put on Twitter, he just said, fuck it, Marv down there somewhere, send it. And he sent it. They've tried that pass a couple times. It's the first time it's actually worked. And good God, what a play. What an outstanding play. Jameis Winston, I've got, you may have sent this to me, Michaela. I did pull these off of TikTok, so it may have been what you sent me. The list of quarterbacks who have 5,000-yard seasons in passing. That list is a veritable who's who of quarterback royalty. Breeze, Mahomes, Manning, Brady, Roethlisberger, Marino, Stafford, Justin Herbert, and Jameis Winston.
One of those doesn't fit.
Right. He's the only guy to go 30 for 30, and I know we like to harp on 30 for 30 and Captain Crab Legs, but the other one that got me, this one's hysterical. 45-plus attempts, 300 yards, 2 touchdowns, 3 picks, and a pick 6.
Yep.
At least one. Okay. That's happened since 2019, a total of 6 times. Jameis owns 3 of those games. It's like, it was the perfect Jameis Winston game. Like, he's like, whatever, just throw it. It's fine. God will protect me. I just fucking love watching that guy play football.
You just knew he was going to throw that pick, right?
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah. At the
Oh,
end.
and-
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah,
Like-
of course. Like, why run it? Just have Jameis throw it right to Cody Barton.
Directly to him, like he
Mhm.
was running a route from the other side of this field.
And back to Knicks, if they asked Russell about that, it was like, well, the offense, the line blocked it well, and it was schemed well, and it was a great catch, and it was good team play all the way around. Just wouldn't have gone into it. Bo was spitting absolute
Mhm.
absolute daggers of football know-how, and this kid is as smart as they come. We're watching, I think, the evolution of a franchise quarterback. They're 2 games ahead now, with the Colts coming up in the last place playoff spot for 7th, and they've got the Colts coming, so they could go 3 if they beat the Colts, regardless of what happens. Guys, they got 10 wins. They're staring at 10 wins. You've got the Colts, the Bengals, the Chargers, and the Chiefs in that order. And the Chargers games in SoFi, they typically play well there. They get the Colts here, the Bengals there. That's a very winnable game. Then who knows what the Chiefs game is going to look like. Like, that could be a game that doesn't matter to Kansas City because it's week 7. It's week 18. It's the 17th game. So 10 games, maybe 11. If they take 3 of 5, that's an 11-win season. We never would have thought in a million years an 11-win season was going to happen. I thought 5.5 was low, but 11 wins, holy shit. And they've got it right where they want it to be. MJ, you got any more stats you want to share?
No, you got the same video that I got.
Okay.
I did see a thing, though. If we beat the Colts and win 2 more games, and Miami loses any game in the next 5,
Guaranteed.
then we guarantee the playoffs.
Yep. Miami has to lose, and we win 3 out of 4.
And one of them has to be the
Or
Colts.
3 out
I
of
think.
5.
Yeah, 3 out of 5. One has to be the Colts.
Yep. Then we're guaranteed a playoff spot.
Well, here it is. Win out, you're guaranteed a playoff spot. That's all
Yeah,
there is to it,
right. Right.
I mean,
That's the mindset.
right? You control your own destiny.
Yep.
And 6 or 5 is not out of the question. Could you imagine if they got to 6 and had to travel to Pittsburgh? That's a very real possibility. They could absolutely. I don't want them to go to Buffalo or Kansas City because that's where they're sitting right now. But go to Pittsburgh, the last game of the year compared to the first game of the year. Let's fucking go, right? You couldn't. It's a totally different team, an absolutely totally different team. And we've got the adult in the room. The receivers are beginning to come together. I really wish Franklin would learn how to catch a deep ball.
Just once, dude.
Just one.
Just once.
Just make it dangerous, please. He is certainly fun to watch with the ball in his hands, but he's got to get the ball into his hands, and they try, and he just can't seem to quite pull it off. Cortland is having an amazing season, even better than he was last year.
He had a big drop, though, too.
He does, and receivers will have drops, right? That's going to happen.
I thought it was fun that they went straight back right to him to the same play.
Oh, yeah. Right, same play. Like, hey, fuck it, do it again. Send it.
Yeah. Mom called that so hard. She was like, do it again. Fuck it. They're going to run it again. And then they ran the exact same shit. She was like, I fucking call it.
So we've got the bye week, and then the Colts come to town. It's going to be an interesting couple of weeks around here. Always looking forward to more Broncos talk with the 3 of you. But now we have to talk about one of the shittiest slates of games I have ever seen. Mark, take it away for Pew Pew Pick'em.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the thank you for that wonderful warm-up, Matt, you cocksucker. This is Pew Pew Pick'em Week 14.
Wow. That got
Jesus. Why?
That went to 10 quick.
It is a really bad slate of games, ladies and gentlemen. This is a really, really rough slate of games. He did not miss. I think I broke Frank. He's red.
Yeah.
He's not breathing. Acknowledge you're okay. Okay, we're fine. I think we're good. Okay.
I don't think he was ready for the cocksucker bomb.
I was not ready for that level of emphasis on that right there.
It's full of Lulu today. Come on. Okay, so let's talk about scores before we get into this crap, because I want to talk about something fun, and that's scores. Did you guys know that there were 2 ties last week?
Yes.
You guys split on the ties.
Yep.
So that bearing in mind, Matt is at 118 point. Frank, you are at 106. The Duchess and Dipshit and all of our other guest pickers, including Mac and Milty and everybody else, is undefeated. So there you go. I will say last week that everyone got 11 right, including Michaela got 11, and the Duchess got 12. She was also the only one that picked the Chargers over the Falcons. So just throwing that in there. You know, she's sitting right over there. So
That's the one.
yep. I mean that's a big call too.
That was a big one, yeah.
Yep.
Because you guys were going against the road dog on that one, or the home dog.
We were riding the home dog.
Okay, so let's talk about this week's slate of games, and we're going to start right away with a fun one because it's Thursday Night Football, and unfortunately, that's the first game we're going to talk about, and it is the Packers and Lions. This is a big game, guys. I didn't realize. I realized, but holy shit, the NFC North is insane this year. I mean, the Packers are in third. But you've got Green Bay, the Lions, you've got Minnesota, all up at the top there. Lions are favored at home in this game by 3.5. The over/under is the tops this week at 51. I don't have to tell you what the Duchess picked, but I will ask what Matt thought.
The Lions are in the elite echelon of teams in the National Football League. They're playing at home. I will not pick against them no matter who they play, especially playing at home. Give me the Lions. They are going to cover this. This is the best game of the week. Like, why is this on Thursday? I'm looking at the rest of this slate, and they're all trash.
Well, there's one other game.
There's one other game that might be kind of okay, but this is the best game of the week. I mean, this is awesome. Lions just have too much firepower. Give me the Lions. They're going to cover. Give me the over.
Frank?
Yeah, and nothing against the Packers, but I'm with Matt on this. I can't pick against Detroit right now. They look like one of the most complete teams in the probably the most complete team in the NFL right now. And yeah, I take them, and I'll take the cover on that one also.
Charizard?
Yeah.
Everything. Wait, hold on. Tank said nothing against the Packers, but I think everything against the Packers. Fuck those guys. Lions go chomp chomp. Chomp 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 chomp.
Thank you, Charizard. Let's talk about the next slate of games.
Better not be going to Houston, otherwise it's going to get thrown off the plane.
Charizard may want to think about coming to Houston.
Hey, you don't know where the hotel is.
That is also a good point.
No, MJ can come. Just Charizard can't.
Oh, Charizard's not allowed to come.
Oh, that sucks for Charizard.
No, Charizard doesn't have to go to Houston.
Yeah,
Hello?
Okay, let's talk about the next slate of games. And this is the Jacksonville Jaguars and Tennessee Titans. Who gives a fuck? 3.5 in favor of the Titans in this game. 39.5 is the over-under. This game makes the Duchess very, very, very sad. She wanted to just say both teams should lose, but she can't, so she picked the Titans. What say you, Frank?
Oh yeah, this is the toilet bowl for sure this week. I'm gonna just on a fluke go with the Jaguars because who gives a shit, and maybe they win one.
Matt?
Mac Jones versus Captain Mayonnaise.
Yeah.
This game couldn't be less interesting. Maybe whatever. Toss a coin. I hate the Titans. I don't like where the Jags are going right now. Their quarterback's out more than likely. But yeah, sure, Jags, whatever.
You're not going to go with the Mac Jones is trash and then go with that like you used to?
They were both trash.
Both of them are trash. Yeah.
Yeah, they're both. I mean, neither one of these quarterbacks are any good. I mean, it doesn't work unless they're trash.
Mac Jones is trash. Helped you out for like a season and a half there, bud.
I know.
Okay. Dipshit, what say ye?
Mac Jones is trash. Give me the Jaguars. I will make Matt's joke for him.
Thank you. We appreciate it. Stick to the hits. That's how this works. Let's talk about a division game that, again, is not very interesting. And this is the Dolphins and Jets. Yes, the Dolphins have an outside shot at winning in the playoffs. Yes, they are favored by 6.5 at home. Yes, the weather is going to be nice in Miami, so therefore they're going to play okay. The over-under in this game, yes, is at 45.5. And yes, the Duchess took the Dolphins, but took the under in this one. She does not think that they will cover the 6.5. What do you think, Matt?
Yeah, I mean, the Jets are an absolute dumpster fire. Aaron Rodgers, I think it needs to hang him up. He does not look good. The team is in disarray. They've got some talent on offense. They just can't figure any of it out. And I think it all squarely rides in the right arm of one Aaron Rodgers. The Dolphins were scrappy in the cold, but now they're at home. I can't see them laying down in this game. Give me the Wizard, McDaniel, and Tua. Let's go. Over. Sure. Now, give me the under. Jalen Ramsey will shut something down. Whatever.
Frank?
Yeah, the Jets are 1-5 since firing their head coach. By the way, their head coach went to another team as a defensive player or defensive assistant. They're 4-1 since he joined them, so that's interesting. God, the Jets suck. The Dolphins are playing at home. Chain looks like he's doing well. Tua looks like he's doing well. Yeah, they win. They cover. Probably hit the over.
Okie dokie. Okie dokie. Dipshit, what do you think? You are a resident Miami expert.
Yes, sure, because I like Mike McDaniel, and I continue to like Mike McDaniel, and Aaron Rodgers now has, I guess, a documentary to worry about instead. So hopefully he's off getting filmed somewhere in the Amazon or some shit, and Dolphins win. Yes.
Hey, Neil's out there calling out my fantasy football team name, and he doesn't even know it. That's
yeah. Okay, let's talk about the next game on this slate, and mildly interesting, but only because of the two teams who are playing, and that is the Atlanta Falcons going up to Minnesota to take on the Vikings, who are favored by 5.5 at home. 45.5 is the over-under in this game. Frank, what do you think?
the dipshit has her hand up.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Did you just say that the game is interesting because of the two teams that are playing in it?
It's mildly interesting is what I said, yeah, because there's some playoff implications here.
Okay.
The only reason it's mildly interesting due to playoff implications.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was like, all games are only interesting based on who's play. Okay.
Yeah, I guess
Continue.
I said that weird. No, you're right. I said that weird, but yeah, it's only mildly interesting because of. Anyways, Frank, what do you think?
Falcons are falling apart. I think we're maybe a week away from seeing Michael Penix hit the field, so I'm going to go with the Vikings, even though they've been kind of sketchy the last few games because they're a better team. And yes, they'll cover.
Matt?
Did you purposefully mispronounce his name?
I was wondering.
Yes, I did.
Okay.
I figured.
No one was more thrilled than I was to actually see Michael Penix Jr. throw a football live in Mile High Stadium than when the Falcons came and he actually threw a dart. The kid is the future there. Tank is spot on. They are falling apart at the seams. Again, another team with a ton of offensive talent. Kirko is just not that guy, I don't think, anymore. It's in Minnesota. They struggled at home against the Chargers that didn't have Dobbins. Give me the Vikes here. They'll cover. And what's the number? 40 what?
45.5.
45.5. Give me the under.
Dipshit?
As much as it pains me, no, go Birds. Birds better. Sam Darnold will have an off game, and Birds win. Hooray, Birds.
So far, I would put those Charizards up, but I don't think they would show up on. So we're just going to appreciate it, but.
You try it. See what happens.
Yeah. Well, let's give it a shot, shall we?
That's
poke Charizard. Poke Charizard. Poke Charizard.
That's better than the picture,
right? Poke Charizard.
There we go. All right, next game. I like this better. Thanks, Toaster, for sending that. Next game on the slate, we are talking about the Saints and Giants. They're playing in New Jersey. The Saints are favored by 5 in this one. The Duchess pitched to the Saints. I guess it's Matt's turn for this shit pile.
Sure. Fuck this game 7 different ways to Sunday. Sure. Saints. It's in New York. Sure. Derek Carr, Alvin Kamara, better than whatever they have on the other side of the field. I don't care who's playing quarterback for New York. They're just waiting time till they can fire Dable.
Okay, Frank.
God, this is the second game. Like, I care less about this game than I do the Titans and Jaguars, to be honest. Saints lost their best offensive weapon, unfortunately, apparently. So, God, I think it's going to be a tie. This game sucks.
Are you calling a tie? Because I'll write that down.
Of any game this year that actually feels like a tie, this is it. I'm going to go with a tie.
I'm going to count that this time. That is, ladies and gentlemen, this podcast's first allowed tied on Pew Pew Pick'em. I'm going to allow it in this game just because it is making this game interesting. Dipshit, what do you think?
Giants, because of the stupid, sexy sack Saints.
Holy shit, we have a tie. We have an actual 3-way tie.
Yeah.
Well,
Who did the Duchess pick?
Oh, Duchess picked the Saints. Okay.
Yeah. So, this is also a disinteresting game, guys. This is the Panthers and Eagles. The Eagles are favored by 12.5 at home. The over-under is 46.5. I'm assuming that you guys, and in fact, I didn't get the Duchess's take on this one. So the only thing I want to know, guys, I'm just going to put I'm going to say safe to say that all of you guys are picking the Eagles. The only thing I want to know is over or under the 12.5 and the total. And if you have anything interesting to say about this game, just getting that out of the way right now. Frank, what do you think? Over, under?
I'm going to say under the 12, just because the Panthers actually look like they're doing something over there.
Matt?
What's the total?
46.
46. It's going to be under that, but they'll cover the 12.5. Too much Saquon. The Eagles are also in that elite range. There are 4 teams that are elite right now, and they're one of them, 2 in each conference. The Panthers, while they have been competent at quarterback lately, and I'm really enjoying watching Bryce actually have some success. I think maybe that time off did him some good, not playing and actually watching the game. There's just not enough there. I fully expect to see maybe a Xavier Legette touchdown because that man is a national treasure and needs to be protected at all costs. And I want him to play for 22 years. I want to play forever. So we can just say Spurgus and allergic.
Dipshit, what say ye?
Tank said that the Panthers are doing stuff. The stuff they're doing is bad. Over.
I'm just saying, okay, I'm saying comparatively to
I bet you.
Big sneeze. Okay. I'm saying comparatively to the beginning of this year, they look like just dog shit for most of this year, but the last few weeks they've looked decent. Against a kind of weak team, they almost won the game. It was a Chuba Hubbard fucking fumble away from winning. So I'm just saying that they're looking okay. I still don't think they're going to win, but I think they might keep it close.
Duchess over or under the 12.5 for the Eagles and Panthers. The Eagles are favored. Under. Okay, there you go. We talked too much about that game. Sheesh.
Yeah, we did.
Oh my God! I asked you guys.
You threw the curveball. You threw the curveball and
guys keep it brief, and you failed. That's a bad job by you guys. Let's talk about the Steelers and Browns. And the Steelers are favored by 6.5 at home. The over/under in this game is 43.5. Matt, give me a take about this game.
We just saw this game 2 weeks ago, and the Browns won at home. I don't foresee the same kind of thing happening at whatever Heinz Field is called now, even though it's not Heinz Field anymore. Steelers are the class of the division right now, just based on record. Russell's throwing the ball over the yard. Tomlin doesn't really lose at home much, if at all. Give me the Steelers here. What is it, 3.5?
6.
Six. Oh, they ain't going to cover that. Jameis will do enough to keep it close. He'll throw for 752 yards, 8 touchdowns, and 6 pick sixes.
Yards.
All of that is hyperbole.
It's like I'm writing 752 yards.
No.
Frank?
Honestly, I see kind of a repeat of both of these teams this weekend. I think this is going to be a pretty high-scoring game where these guys gun it at each other and the Steelers pull it out at the end. And, they cover, I think.
Dipshit.
The Steelers have their winning season, so now they can fade off into mediocrity as is their want. And Jameis Winston is going to roll all nat 20s on his throws. Give me the Browns.
I like the nat 20 reference. That's really
20s.
good.
Well done.
The Duchess also took the Browns, so technically the podcast ends this game in a tie.
Wow.
The Raiders and Buccaneers is the next game on here, and this is only interesting because it is the Battle of Pirates. Arr! The Raiders are going down to Tampa Bay to take on the Buccaneers, who are favored by 6.5 at home. Over/under in this game is 46.5. Frank, what do you think about this one?
Buccaneers had a close one. So did the Raiders. Buccaneers won, and I think that's what's going to happen in this game too, because I don't think the Raiders are good enough to compete out of their division. So Buccaneers win and cover and probably hit the over.
Matt?
Baker Mayfield is trash. Go Bucks.
I love that.
Gotta roll out the classics.
Yep.
Play the fucking hits. MJ.
Yeah, sure. I'll take the Bucks, but it'll be like 10-13.
Las Vegas is calling me.
Oh, good.
Are they picking you for their new head coach?
Maybe.
Did you lose the Hunger Games?
That could be too. You said over the 6.5? Yes.
No, I said 13-10.
13-10. Okay. 13 to 10. Okay. Next game on this whole thing is actually another divisional game. Also mildly interesting just because it's a divisional game. This is the Sea Chickens in the desert to take on the Arizona Cardinals, who are at home, favored by 2.5 points, which means Seattle's throwing a little bit of money on it right now, right away. 44.5 is the over-under in this game. I believe it's Matt's turn to go first.
If the mock drafts end up the way some people are saying, then it looks like the Arizona Cardinals are going to draft one Alshon Gentry from Boise State, which will give them the smallest backfield in the history of mankind at an average of like 5'8.5". Having said that, Cardinals are so wildly inconsistent. Are you, coach? That's funny. Cardinals are so wildly inconsistent, but it's a home game against a divisional opponent. And the only team in that division that's more inconsistent is the Seattle Seahawks. Go Cards. What is it? What was the number again?
2.5 and 44.
I think they'll cover and take the over.
Okay. Frank.
I mean, yeah, basically what I was going to say too. These teams are both very inconsistent. The Seahawks probably should have lost that game if they wouldn't have been playing the Jets. They probably would have lost that game. Cardinals look like the slightly better team, so Cardinals cover and over.
Dipshit.
If you had offered me $10 before the start of the podcast to name the teams in the whatever the fuck West division, the gun would have gone off. I forgot these guys existed. I will take the fellow short.
So I think you mixed your metaphors a little bit there, but I got what you were saying. Who did you pick?
The short one. Cards.
The short one. Okay. Because she said if you offered me $10, then the gun would go off. That's two different things that you're referencing.
Yeah, that was on purpose. That was intended.
We have a grass reference. Thank you, Neil. That is awesome. That will never get old.
Oh, no, it does not. This will, though, because it's the Bills and Rams in Los Angeles. The Rams are at home, but they are underdogs by 4.5 points. There is also a 49-point over-under attached to this game. Frank, what do you think about this one?
Yeah, I think this one is going to be a little bit of a shootout, but I'm not surprised that the Bills win it by a touchdown. I think that's exactly what's going to happen. Bills win it by a touchdown and probably hit the over.
Mateo.
This is another one of those games involving an elite team in the NFL, Bills rounding out the other half of that squad in the AFC. They are the truth, and they're only a half a game behind Kansas City because if they end up with a tie, they own the tiebreaker for the bye and the number one seed. They have everything to play for. The Rams are just so wildly inconsistent. They're a fun watch, but I just don't know if they have enough horses to keep up with what the Bills have cooking right now. And, Josh Allen is not quietly putting together an MVP type season. So let's go Bills. Let's go over, and they will cover.
Okie dokie. How about dipshit?
Josh Allen learns instant transmission from Goku in heaven so that he can actually throw himself touchdowns. Bills win.
That is a thing that has happened.
That is the thing that has happened.
I do want to say you were not totally far off on your over 1,000 points from last week on the 49ers and Bills game. So if there's a go-to that happens here, it's probably in the ballpark. So just saying. She's been close to right.
I have approximate knowledge of many things.
Knows enough to be dangerous.
Speaking of dangerous, this next game is going to be dangerous to watch, and it's the Bears going to Santa Clara to take on the 49ers. This game is slated to be the 49ers favored by 44. Lots of fours for the 49ers, who are favored by 44 is the total. 4. I want dipshit to go first this time because fuck it.
Oh, that's excellent. I'm so glad you said that. Can you repeat what game you just had?
The Bears. This is Chicago in Santa Clara. The 49ers are favored over the Bears by 4. The over-under is 44. 4,
Okay.
44, 4, 49er, 4.
4. I like the Niners more than the Bears. That is my take.
Frank?
Niners are in pieces at this point. Yeah, I'm taking the just fired their coach bounce on this one and giving it to the Bears on the road. Caleb throws for 300 yards and 4 tutties.
Oh, the Duchess would like you to know that there is a song about the Bears. But Matt, go ahead.
Yeah.
The song in a minute.
We know the song. The interim head coach bounce is real. Michaela, I will give you $1 if you can tell me without looking at your phone who the starting running back is going to be in San Francisco.
Hey, I couldn't have told you who the starting running back was for San Francisco when it was McCaffrey.
I'm going to put this in perspective for you. I don't know who the starting running back is for the 49ers.
The only reason I know is because both of my San Francisco running backs on my fantasy team are on
dead.
IR, so I had to pick him up. His name is Isaac Gorendo. I do know
that's right.
Like I do know the kid runs a 4.3. So he's a speedster with a little bit of power, but
he's decent.
He's third string for a reason. They are just falling apart at the seams in San Francisco. The interim head coach bump is going to be real. Caleb is playing well, and even though he's spending most of his time on his back and just getting brutalized on a game-to-game basis, but he is leading drives late. He should have won that game, except dipshit Aberflus can't manage a fucking football game, and every coach in the world sitting on their couch was screaming at the television like I was, "What are you doing?" And then he doubles down and says, "Oh, we did what we wanted to do." The fuck you did. No, you did not. All you had to do was tie the game and let it happen. But whatever. You're now on the unemployment line. Yes, dipshit.
My personal favorite was he did a press conference not long before he got fired, and he was like, I think I'll still be coaching when we play the 49ers. And then I saw that notification, and 5 minutes later I got the notification that he got fired.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
No, I think I like not dipshit of the week, but like Sly Fox of the week this week was Caleb Williams for just not making a decision and letting the coach eat shit on national television right there, because he could have done something, but he was listening to his coach. and that
That's what-
fucker
yeah.
cannot do anything right.
That's what you're supposed to do. When you're a rookie
Exactly.
quarterback, you listen to your coach, and the coach has to be the adult in the room. Guess what? We've got that going on here.
Yeah.
Right? That kind of thing would never happen in Denver with the current organization set up the way it is. Bears win, they cover, take the under.
Hey,
Yeah.
guess what? That's another tie for the podcast.
Oh,
Really?
because
Oh,
because
that's-
the Duchess did not pick the Bears.
Wow.
Because the Bears still suck.
Yes.
Let's talk about Sunday Night Football and really the only other mildly interesting game of the actual week here, and that's the Chargers and the Chiefs in Kansas City, guys. The real loser here is whatever Carrie Underwood is wearing, is what the Duchess says. The over-under in this game is 43 points. The Chiefs are favored by 4 at home. Matt, what do you think about this one?
I have a question. Why is
Yeah.
Carrie Underwood in this conversation?
Because it's Sunday Night Football.
Yeah.
She wears an
Oh,
outfit.
she's the
She does
singer.
the-
Oh,
yeah.
yeah. She sings the
She's
song.
terribly dressed at the start of that show every week.
Got it. You know, the last time the Chiefs played a team that was halfway decent, they lost. And they have struggled 2 games in a row against inferior opponents. They can't seem to get out of their own way. I think this is the Chargers outright, but the real winner in this game is going to be the Denver Broncos, because no matter who wins this game, it's going to set up better for Denver, either in the playoffs or for playoff positioning. So go Broncos. Chargers haven't charged yet. They're going to win, and give me the under.
Frank?
I'm trying to figure out how much money the devil is placing on this game, because that's my deciding factor. The Chiefs have somehow magicianed wins for half of their wins this season out of fucking nowhere. So I'm going to say they do not do that this time, and the Chargers win by 2.
Dipshit.
Chargers, because I don't like the Chiefs.
You guys have all picked the Chargers in this game, just so you know.
I think the devil magic has to fall out at some point, and I think it's happening this week.
Yeah,
So-
I don't think you can keep playing with fire. Like
No, they have not deserved half of their wins this season.
This conversation is not my portion of this conversation is not football related, but everyone is saying how much more hatred they feel towards this Chiefs teams than the Patriots teams. There is definitely recency bias with that, because do you remember when the Patriots were cheating every fucking week? They were changing the rules literally every fucking week. They were creating a new rule for the rule book. Do you guys remember that?
Oh yeah.
The Patriots were hated by everybody. I think that there's some recency bias with the whole Chiefs hatred thing. What do you guys think about that?
I think they're getting close. I think the only reason that they're not more hated than the Patriots is because people actually like Andy Reid.
There's something to say.
that is a
about
solid point. That is a very solid
yeah.
point.
Love me some
And-
fat
and
Andy, man.
How really honestly, if you just take him at face value and just look at the man as a package, you really can't hate Mahomes either. He's a really solid dude.
I love
He's
Pat
not
Mahomes.
he's not a douche. He just happens to play for the fucking Chiefs. So go.
He also
fuck
has a
themselves.
wife that's a Muppet, so that makes things harder.
And his fucking kid brother's an idiot too.
Yeah, and those two have been really quiet the last 2 years, which is pleasing.
for a
to me.
reason, I think.
Oh well, sure. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm sure Pat had. I'm sure Pat Senior had
Yeah.
something to say.
It's like they already hate us enough. Shut
He-
the fuck up.
He's probably the one who's like, listen, guys, I'm not one to be saying, but I'm going to be quiet, so y'all should too.
Mhm.
That fucking guy's been a sack of shit too for poor Patrick. Poor Patrick and his
Mhm.
piles of money. Let's bring this
Poor
one home and talk
billionaire.
about Monday Night Football. And this is going to be another bummer. The only interesting thing about this one, folks, is if you watch it on Disney, you'll get to see Homer take on his kid Bart, as Bart's Bengals take on Homer's Cowboys on Monday Night Football. This game is in the place where they didn't build the stadium correctly. There's a glare in there. So it's in Dallas. The Bengals on the road are favored by 5.5 in this one. The over-under in this game is 49.5. Frank, why don't you go first? I think Matt went first last time, so go ahead.
I think the Cincinnati Bengals this year may be the best bad team in the history of the NFL. So to put that in perspective, for teams that have scored 38 or more points this season, They're 53-1. Cincinnati is 1-2. They score so many points, but their defense is so dog shit that it literally drags them down. They win this just because the Cowboys are shittier somehow.
Do they cover the 5.5?
I think they cover the 5.5.
Thank you, Frank. That was awesome, man. Go ahead, Matt.
Bengals.
Okay. Over under the 5.5.
Sure, they cover. Whatever.
Right.
Cooper Rush is trash.
Oh, yeah.
I don't understand this recent surge of national positive media around Mike McCarthy. Like even Schefter has come out and said, "Oh, I think he's doing a really good job." The fuck you mean he's doing a really good job? I mean, yeah, there's been some injuries, but McCarthy is not a good head football coach. And anyone who's been watching the game for more than a year can see that.
Okay.
But there seems to be this narrative around there that either they're trying to convince Jerry to keep him because he's a nice guy, or there's something else going on. And I don't know what it is, but this surge of national positive attention around Mike McCarthy and his broken speaking spell boggles my mind.
I can tell you what it is. Everyone's so happy that the Cowboys are losing that they're trying to make a positive spin out of his coaching, so they just keep losing.
Maybe that's what it is. It could be. But give me Joey Burrow and his ragtag band of merry misfits against whatever the Cowboys trot out there in CeeDee Lamb.
Dipshit.
One of the guys that I watch NFL stuff of has started calling the Bengals Gwen Cincinnati, and it's a Dark Souls reference, and I like Dark Souls. Go Bengals.
All right.
And their cats.
And their cats.
And their cats, meow. I thought, never mind.
That was a bang.
Are we done? Are we
Yeah,
done?
we're done with Pew Pew.
God,
was fun.
those games suck ass.
They really do.
There's like
Can
two.
we talk about
halfway
something
decent
that
games
doesn't
there.
suck
Please.
for a little bit? Can we talk about Gene Mingo?
You get a half a star.
He doesn't suck.
I know that, but you still get a half a star.
I did. It is on the list.
All right. Well, that's Pew Pew Pick'em. Thank you very much, Mark.
Yeah,
Hopefully
sorry about
next-
the games, but it's not my fucking
Yeah,
fault.
we just have to play the games they put in front of us. We can't control it. We like to have talked about better games, but this is just garbage. All right, let's move on to Dipshit of the Week. And as always, we start with she who named the segment. Take it away, MJ.
Okay, I'm gonna send everybody a TikTok. This is my honorable mention of the week. This is a guy who said he was gonna eat a Five Guys French fry for every yard in Monday Night Football last night.
Oh, that's a bad
Oh,
idea.
goodness.
He said he gave up at 380 something of like whatever 650, whatever big fucking number. He gets the honorable mention for trying.
I was gonna say, just out of the quarterbacks, that was like 700, wasn't it?
I think it was like passing yards.
Yeah.
It was a specific kind of yard.
If it was
It was a
passing
specific
yards,
It was
State.
almost 800 yards.
Yeah,
I mean,
they
Yeah.
just
497
passing.
and 270 something, or almost
Mhm.
300.
Yeah,
Insane.
yeah. He gave up at 300 something. But
Yeah.
The real dipshit of the week is gonna go to the MLB Board of Governors. They've been talking about apparently a rule called the Golden at Bat rule, which is once a game you can just fucking put in whoever to bat for shits and giggles. So if it's like bottom of the ninth, Yankees and Dodgers or whatever, and the Dodgers are up by 2 and the Yankees have 2 people on bat or on base, the Yankees just be like, fuck it. Aaron Judge is playing now, and make Aaron Judge take the at bat so that it's better for viewers or whatever. It sounds so stupid, but they say they are talking about it, and I don't like that.
Mark?
Michaela kind of stole mine, but first, before we go into that, shout out to the Duchess who has provided me with a dipshit of the week, and dipshit actually mentioned this earlier. It is the Aaron Rodgers documentary. that features RFK, apparently. But that's the honorable dipshit of the week. The real dipshit of the week is, yes, baseball, for bringing this up. This is a little bit backyard ball for me. This is a little bit of something that you do at like an all-star game or something of that ilk, but it's very gimmicky. And when you're talking about a game that deals so much in on-field and player strategy, for them to just get a gimme like this, it's not really a pro level ball thing. Yeah, so they can just, whoever is in your lineup that you can just put into this golden at bat whenever you want. Say it's bottom 9, you have bases loaded, and Aaron Judge is not at bat. You can put him on the goddamn plate if you want.
Even if he just hit. Yeah. It's stupid.
Yeah. So that's the golden at bat rule. I'm with you, dipshit. This is 100% the dipshit of the week. And also, we don't like Aaron Rodgers.
Tank?
I have a multi-dipshit one on this one. I'm going to go with the Bears, the Raiders, the Cardinals, the Jets. Yeah, let's go with every team that this weekend easily could have won their game if they wouldn't have just shot themselves in the fucking foot for no reason. There are so many teams that did it this weekend that it was ridiculous.
Honorable mention to losing home teams in college football.
That was fucking awesome.
Right.
So you guys lost the game. Get over it. If you're not fighting during the 60 minutes on the field, fuck off. Go home.
Yeah.
Go
Where was
drink
that
them off,
energy?
stupid.
Where was that energy 45 minutes ago when you're
Shut up,
scoring 10
stupid.
points against a trash Michigan team?
Right.
That was just that came up in a call this morning. I'm like, score more points. You have no room to talk or fight or be stupid. So I in college, especially since they're practically professional athletes anymore. That's funny. Rockies would still use a pitcher in a golden bat spot. You're not wrong. I because they're practically professionals anymore. Let them talk their shit. Let her do their thing. I like that a lot better than the youth football belt to ass thing that was going on this season. That was just absolutely stupid. And anyone out there who's a coach of kids and you allow that to happen in a handshake line, you should be banned for life because that's just ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
My dipshit of the week are the people who decided the list of coach and senior nominees for the Hall of Fame, for the Pro Football Hall of Fame, the finalists. That list came out. I don't have any issue with the seniors. The senior list is pretty good. Their head coach pick is bewildering. They decided not Mike Shanahan, Mike Holmgren would be their nominee as the coach. I don't understand in what world you think that Mike Holmgren had a bigger impact on the game of football than Mike Shanahan. Mike Shanahan, not only does half of the league run his offense, granted with tweaks and people make it theirs, but half of the league run it. You guys know that Shanahan has 3 direct assistants who have gone to Super Bowls and 2 that have won a Super Bowl. Direct assistants. Can we just talk about who Shanahan had on his staff in Washington? Kyle, who, by his own right, is having some troubles this year, but he's a very good head coach. Sean McVay was on that staff. Dave Canales was on that staff. And so was Matt LaFleur. This man has done nothing but good for the game. Back-to-back Super Bowls. He's got 3 rings. He designed the offense that dominated not only when he was coaching with that team in the late 90s, but continues to dominate. His footprint and his imprint on the game of football is far and above anything that Mike Holmgren has ever done. And I'm taking nothing away from Mike Holmgren. He is McDaniels is on that staff too. You're absolutely right. I missed one. Or McDaniels is a different guy. Mike Holmgren was a very good football coach. Won a Super Bowl, went to 3. I think he went to 1 early with Seattle, maybe not. But at least it was 1-1. Had a very successful run for a long time in Green Bay and Seattle. But this is an outrage. And there's no reason that Mike Shanahan is still out of the Hall of Fame and they decide that Mike Holmgren's in. Now, I'm going to take some people off this list because I know that Jeff Legwold is in that room and Jeff Legwold knows what's up. So there are people who are beating the drum. I don't know what it is about Denver. I don't know what it is about the media. I don't know what it is about people passing over where they should be and where giving them their flowers, but it's horseshit. You people are the dipshits of the week. And yes, I said you people, channeling my inner RDJ.
I would like to second that and bring up another person who's continuously left off that list, and it's mostly because of the duration of his career. Sterling Sharp.
He's on the finalist list.
He's on
He
the
was one of them.
I know, but
Yeah.
the fact that it's taking this long to put that dude on this list, he only played for 7 years, and it's basically just because he got injured. He was an All-Pro 3 fucking times, dude. Jesus Christ. He would have had similar stats. He had similar stats to Jerry Rice for all 7 years. You tell me that's not something that if he would have gotten through the injury, that would have continued? That dude was amazing, and it took this fucking long to give him just a shot at it. That's wild.
Agreed. All right, talk about the stuff, pimp the things. MJ, take it away.
This is Charizard. He is not wanted in the city of Houston, apparently.
He's banned
If you
from
see
going to
him,
Houston.
if you see him in the city of Houston, contact the local ATF, and they will deal with it accordingly.
Oh my god!
Why do I
that's the
feel
best.
like that thing's coming with us?
I will forget.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Tank, what do you got?
Yeah, catch me on all the socials at Tank Knox or Knox Nostalgia Collectibles. Also, deep into the holiday season. Not shipping out of state yet, but if you're in Colorado, Frank the Tank's Cookie Bank is actually on and rolling finally. So, hit me up. I got some good stuff
Where can they find Frank the Tank's Cookie Bank?
on Facebook currently.
There you go. Mark?
We're going to Houston this weekend. If you guys don't know, Meow Wolf opened another installation permanently in Houston, and we are going to go check it out. So we will be down there this weekend, Sunday through Tuesday. And so see some stuff about that. I started posting some stuff on the Tiki-Taki about some non-alcoholic beer options. First in a series, probably going to be posting a bunch more of those. I get the opportunity to try them, and so you don't have to spend $20 on non-alcoholic beers. I'll do it for you. So come check that out. Matt will tell you where to find that here in a minute.
Final thoughts for me. And we mentioned it earlier in the podcast. It's been a long time since we've actually had hope and have been excited and have seen entertaining football to the level that we saw last night. 8-5 is nothing to sneeze at. This team very easily could win 10 or 11 games, depending on how it lays out the rest of the season. The great thing about what we're seeing from this season and the current iteration of the Denver Broncos is that they are winning games different ways. The last 10 years, there was one way to win a football game depending on how that team was put together that year. It was either running the football and keeping it close and letting your defense do it, or letting your defense just do it. This is a team that's won multiple games different ways, and I'm here for it. I'm here for all of this. Thank you to the Walton Penner ownership group for stabilizing a franchise that we love. Thank you to Sean Payton for being the adult in the room and not taking any shit and knowing what you're doing, because I think you've got something in that kid. Finally, thank you to Bo Nix for being you. I love your swagger. I love your attitude. Send it. Just send it, bro. Let's go. Go Broncos. Make sure you catch us on all of our Full Send to Lulu. Make sure you catch us on all of our social channels. You can find My Brother's an Idiot on YouTube. You can also find us on Facebook. Just search My Brother's an Idiot. We're also on Twitch, Twitter, and TikTok at The Idiot Goons. Mark's Twitch, Twitter, and TikTok are at Poffeltime. I did stumble upon one of your videos about, probably the only one you posted so far, about the non-alc beer. It looks really good. Great job there, sir.
Thank you.
You can find me on Twitch and Twitter at Puffalopagus and on TikTok at King Goon Smoke. For the absent Muti, we love you, Muti.
We love you, Muti.
Muti.
For dipshit Tank and for Mark. Make sure you take care of yourselves, take care of your families, take care of each other. This has been My Brother's an Idiot. We'll catch you next time. See ya.
Take care of
Bruh.
your grass too.
Yeah, even though it's December.
Great.